Hello friends, welcome to NullPoints. In this video, we are going to learn about one of the most important concept in the Android, that is view binding. So what is view binding? View binding is a feature which helps us to bind the views whatever we have defined in our XML file with our Java or Kotlin file in a very efficient manner. So in a general case, what we have to do, we have to rely on the method find view by id and pass a view id inside that method and get the instance of a view. But if we are using the view binding library, then we don't have to do any of this. The view binding library takes care of making that views available at the time of programming. Thus, it helps us to reduce our lot of boilerplate code, and also it provides a null safety so that whatever the code we will be writing will be less error prone to the null exceptions. So let us see in practical how it helps us in our programming journey. So here I have created a new sample project in which we will be implementing the view binding library. It is a simple project, empty project with a single activity. And now let's go to the build.gradle file, and in order to enable the view binding, we have to make that build features inside braces. You have to write view binding true and just sync the project. That is building, and yeah, Gradle build is successful. Now view binding is enabled in our project. Now we can start implementing view binding. Okay, now let's close this one and go to activity main. So we'll just create some sample layout with the help of this editor. So let's say we'll be creating one simple edit text. Let's match it with the parent, and a simple button. Let's constraint it. Okay, now let me make some modifications. Android guild, and this button, let's make it as submit, and let's see later we will be adding one text view here. Let's construct it over the button, and let me make some modifications in this one also. We'll make this as a tools text, so the text will this text will be only visible at design time. This text, let's make it as 30 sp. Okay, so what we'll be doing is, this simple tutorial that whenever we'll click on submit button, whenever user will enter something in this text box, let's say his name, and then click on submit, and then we will be assigning this value to this text view. Okay, this is a very simple tutorial. This motto of this tutorial is just to understand how the view binding works and how it eliminates our boilerplate code. Okay, let's come in the Kotlin file. So let's see. In the main activity we are here, we'll declare one variable at late init var binding, and let's see the sessions. Here we can see activity main binding. So this is the file which we haven't generated. This has view binding library has automatically generated this file with all the references which of the views which we have defined in the activity main.xml. So we are click here that now we have to make some changes, and here as well. So before this set content view, we'll initialize this binding variable as activity main binding one point dot inflate, and we'll plus layout inflator in this. It is coming from get layout inflator. and inside this dot layout dot activity main, we don't need this. We'll just pass binding dot root. It's coming from get root. That's it. So binding dot get root, if we click on binding dot get root, it automatically navigates to the activity main.xml. So ultimately that is the thing, that layout file is getting passed, which is sending a view. So that's why it is accepting. So we have set up with the binding. So now we can use this binding. So we can use this binding in anywhere in the class now, and we can directly access the elements. So we have given basically IDs here: edit text, person name, button, and a text view. So let's see the magic here. We'll just use the word binding, and on clicking on dot, we are getting all these things as a suggestions like button, text view, and edit text, person name. These are all the IDs coming from our activity main.xml layout file, and the same is done here as well. The underscores are converted into the camel cases, and here we are getting the relevant IDs. So let's implement the logic which we will be doing. We were supposed to do. Let's get the text. Okay, click on the button. On clicking on the button and set on click listener, we'll get the text whatever they entered by user. By text equals binding dot edit text, person name dot text, and letter dot posting, and then we'll do binding dot text view dot text equals to this text. Okay, our job is done. Now let's try running this. So my emulator is started. Let's now run the app. Okay, it is now opened. I'll just here enter my name, clicking on back and clicking on submit. We are getting here whatever the text we have entered here. Now there is nothing complicated logic here. What we are doing all this thing with the view binding library. That is the motto of this tutorial, to understand how the view binding library works and how it helps us to eliminate the code. So in this, if we were using the traditional approach, we were supposed to use the find view by ID for each of these layout elements, and then make sure that they are not null, initialize them, and then we will be passing all these things and execute the logic. So this logic has been simplified into just 3 lines of code. So that is the motto of the view binding library, and it helps to eliminate null exceptions in this way itself, because when we will click the binding variable and then click on dot, we'll be only getting the options for whatever the IDs we already have defined in the activity.xml. So in this way it helps us to eliminate null exceptions, so that we'll not write some code which will occur that this view is doesn't exist, or this view is null. So that's about view binding. So now I think you have enough understanding of how the view binding library works and how it helps to eliminate the boilerplate code, and also the helps in reducing the code which might cause null pointer exceptions. It is a very simple concept. You can just simply try in any of your project or create a simple blank project and implement this concept in this. It is not hard to learn. It is very easy, but very useful. If you find this video helpful, then I think you won't mind hitting some like button, right? So please click on like, share with your friends and subscribe to this channel to get such more videos on. I will keep posting more and more tutorials, and there is also one more concept which is more important, like data binding. So we'll see that concept in next video. Till then, happy coding. Bye bye.